Are you tired of your gums bursting with blood every time you floss?
Oh, shit. Oh.
Don't let those gingivitis bugs get to you. 'Cause now there's new Retardex. Now you can wash all your gum problems away with Retardex. Just look for the mouthwash with the retard on the bottle. Virtual memory. Once again, howdy hi, howdy ho. Xxoxia here with some new jumble garble. Today we're gonna talk about something that all cubers always want to know at one point or another, and that's how I got to be, well, not all cubers want to know how I specifically got to be as fast as I am, but how anybody gets to be fast, or faster than they already are. When I was in the 22-second range, otherwise known as what I call the suicide stage, I was stuck there for a year, and I could not get out of it, and I really wanted to die. And all I could do was ask faster cubers how to get faster. What do I do? What can I do to get faster? And all anybody ever said to me was slow down and look ahead. Slow down, look ahead. And I just started to think, well, maybe there really is no other answer but slow down and look ahead. So I tried and I tried forever to slow down and look ahead. And it got as slow as doing walkthrough solves. Pretty much, to say the least. I had to slow down that much to really learn how to look ahead well. So I started doing walkthrough solves. And then I started, when I would time myself, I tried to go as slow as I could, but still go fast enough so I could get a good time. And I finally, one day, out of nowhere, was able to look ahead. It just kind of hit me how to do it. There's really no way anybody can tell you how to look ahead, and that's why it's so freaking hard. Just not too long ago, I had a guy named Speedcuber for Life, another YouTuber, cuber guy, ask me how I got to average what I average, which is between 15 and 16, 17 seconds, somewhere in there. We'll just say 16 seconds, because my average of 100 is always 16. So we'll just say 16 seconds. So on a good day, I can get sub 15. On a bad day, I have trouble breaking 17. That's how it works in this system. Now, before I get into the things I told this guy, we're going to take a look back at the solve I just did. Now, that was the first time I had done that scramble. I got the scramble off QQ Timer. So we'll take a look back, if I can pull that scramble up, and we'll take a look at that solve. It's a little bit I'm a little bit twisted up here, but we'll make do. Now this is the scramble. This is what it looks like. Okay, the green's solved here. We have this red piece. We have this green-orange pair. Okay, and now the blue piece is over here. And the orange piece is here on red. What I did was I wanted to try to preserve this pair. You know, sometimes it's just impossible to do. Don't waste a lot of time trying to preserve pairs. Take a look, see if you can do it without wasting too much time. You don't want to waste more than a second trying to get that pair to stay intact. Now, that just can be pretty difficult. So, what I did was, the green is solved in the back. See, the solved pieces I always try to keep in the back because they're done. We don't need to mess with them too much, and that's that. This needed to go over here. This red needed to come here, and this blue needed to go here. So, in order to save this pair and get all these pieces where they needed to go, this is what I did. Pairs here. So the first move I made in this extent, well, it wasn't extended because it was a regular cross. And the first move I made in this cross was to get the pair out of the way. Alright, now we can't hurt that pair because we're not doing any B moves, we're not doing any D moves because green's solved and we're not going to ruin that. So the first move I made was R prime to get that pair out of the way. And this was still oriented with the orange center. I can still get this to that center without having to flip it. Okay? Next move I made was to bring the blue over and line it up with blue. And now I know I can solve red while bringing the blue down. I solved red, and that brought the pair up here. And now I continued to solve the blue and the orange, and that was my cross. Okay? That corner's nothing. Alright, now that pair was here, so the first thing I did was I brought it around, and I solved it in the back. Alright? Next thing I did, what did I do? What did I do? Next thing I saw, I didn't really take note of the blue and red pair right here. I could have just gone and did a U2 and connected them up back here. But I didn't notice that. The thing I noticed was this corner right in front of me. This green-red corner. And I saw the edge while solving this pair. Okay? So this green-red edge is back here, and I noticed this corner over here. So what I did was I brought this around and pulled the edge out in a way that would allow me to solve this pair without doing any cube rotations, just like that. Next thing I did was I noticed the blue and orange pieces right here and here. I'm pretty sure that's what I did next. I could have, if I had seen this corner, this is the blue-red corner, I could have matched these up like so. But I didn't notice that, I'm pretty sure. What I did was I came and did these, I came over here and did the blue and orange pair, just like you normally would. And now I see that this paired up automatically. So I'm solving blue and orange in the back, and now this blue and red pair is here. I came over, solved the blue and red pair, and came up with this OLL. Now if you know full OLL, then you'll know that this is no problem. You just go and that's the OLL, and I ended up with a U-perm. Pretty easy. I didn't have to do any rotations, and that was the solve. And I ended up with a 13 something. All because I was able to slow down and look ahead. Alright? But that wasn't the only thing that got me a 13. What else got me a 13 was really planning out my cross. I took the time of my inspection to actually sit there and plan out what I wanted to do. I didn't rush through it and say, okay, I'm just going to do this, this, and this, and this. I paid attention to that pear, the green-orange pear, and I found a way to preserve it without wasting too much time, and I had an easy way to solve all the pieces. It wasn't a big deal. So I had a nice cross, ready first pair. I knew where it was going to be. Easy F2L pretty much. It wasn't that bad. As long as you can look ahead, your F2L won't be that hard. Sometimes you'll have pieces in the back, and they are hard to see, you know, where everything is, but as long as you just go slow enough just to be able to look at those pieces, you'll have no problems with F2L. OLL, I was already in position. I didn't have to rotate anything. I didn't turn anything. I just went right into the OLL. And it was an easy U-perm. I didn't have to rotate anything. You just went straight through it, and that was it. Some of you might be asking, what are some of the other things that you can do to sub 20? Let's say, we'll say sub 20. How can I get sub 20? Some of the things, although this can be used for any amount of progress, really. You can use this for if you're stuck at 40 seconds. I wouldn't say any slower than that. Any slower than that, you need to take care of some other problems, like mastering your F2L cases and, you know, whatever. Anything 40 seconds and below, you should pretty much be able to use any of this information I give you, and it'll help you to whatever you need to get to. I say sub 20 because that was where I really got stuck, and that was the hardest for me. I did spend a good portion of a year stuck at 30 seconds, just under, you know, sub 30, but I did make it through that without looking ahead somehow. It was that 22-second level that really got me stuck. Okay, if you take a look here, one thing I can tell you is you have to practice a lot. Don't just do 5 minutes of practice, put your cube down and go off, you know. Some people do an average of 12, some people do, you know, 20 solves here and there throughout the day. I sit down once, maybe once every few days, and I do a real cube workout. This is what I did last night. I'm going to show you my times. I did 325 solves, straight through, no stopping. That's how I practice. Alright, my best time was 12:74, worst time was 29:71, and I think that's what really killed my average. The entire session average of 325. It was probably a fluke solve where I did some stupid whatever junk and, you know, messed up the entire thing, because I don't get 29s anymore. That's just, I don't usually get any 20s anymore. We'll forget about mean of 3, that doesn't really matter. That's for 6x6. The best average of 5 I had was 1464. Best average of 12 was 1558. And then, coming down here, best average of 50 was 1618. Best average of 100 was 1668. Session average 1692. So as you could see, I'm still trying to get sub 15 myself. That's the next goal. That's, I'm giving myself a few months to do it. I think I can do it by April, my birthday-ish, hopefully. Now, what did I tell this guy? Let's find out. When you're doing large amounts of solves like I just showed you, don't try to go too fast, because you're gonna you're gonna blow out your hands, and you won't do very well for long. All right. Normally, I'm done after 200 solves. To do over 300 is just not usual for me, but it had been a few days since I had done any kind of averaging, and I really wanted to get some good practice in, especially the way the average started out. It wasn't very good. It was all 17, 17, 17, so I really wanted to get some good time in, especially now that I've started doing it every few days rather than every day. I used to do it every day, and I started realizing that when I don't do it every day and I just wait about 3 days in between, and then I do another big average again, I get better. I progress better than I would if I had done it every day. So I guess that's my first tip, is to spread out your practice. Don't try to cram it all every day, all the time, like I used to do. Get a good practice in, like a long, good practice, a lot of solves. Do at least 100 solves. Don't do under 100 solves. Get a good practice in. Wait a few days. Take a break. Don't stop cubing. Just don't time yourself. Don't time yourself for 3 days or so. Then do it again, and then every few days keep doing a big average of at least 100. I say don't time yourself in the days in between, because I find that doing walkthrough solves and slow solves is really what helps build your look ahead. It's really hard to learn how to look ahead. It took me a long time, from the time I found out about looking ahead to the time where I could actually do it. It was a long time, and I tried everything you can imagine to figure out how to do it. And I tried watching the pieces go around. I tried scrambling a cube, watching a piece go around the cube, and I couldn't seem to get better at looking ahead. It just kind of hit me one day, and I figured it out. You just kind of have to keep trying different things. The way I do it is I freeze my eyes on one color. I freeze my eyes on a piece, and then I keep another piece. If you're looking for F2L pairs, the best thing I do is to find the corner really quickly and keep it in my mind. Don't watch the corner, because the corner is easy to relocate. It has the cross color, so all you have to do is find that cross color and have an idea in your mind where that piece will be. So if you find the piece, if you find the corner, let's say it's this green, red, yellow corner, whatever, and you say, okay, I'm going to keep that in my head and kind of follow it in my head. You want to follow the piece in your head, not with your eyes. You'll have a good idea where it's going if you keep it in mind. And then once it comes time to see that piece again, you'll kind of know where to look for it. Instead of looking all over the cube, you'll kind of know where to go. And you'll find it easily, because that cross color, the edge, is the problem. The edge, you want to physically look with your eyes for the edges while keeping the corners in your mind. Once you find your edge, what I do is I freeze my eyes. I don't move my eyes around. I don't follow the piece. I freeze my eyes and kind of watch it with my eyes staying focused in one big area. And It's kind of hard to explain. It really is. But if you fool around with it, you'll get what I mean. If you can finally focus in on how to do it. It takes practice and a lot of practice, a lot of time doing it. So basically, do untimed solves. That'll help you more than if you were to time yourself all the time. Don't continuously do averages. Oh, how fast am I? How much faster am I today? How much faster am I today? You'll progress faster by not timing yourself. And this is coming from my experience, not anybody else's. I don't know if this is a fact. I don't know if this is a scientific study and it proved to be true. I'm just saying, from my personal experience, I find that not timing solves is the way to go. Okay? Do your untimed solves. Do walkthrough solves. I do a lot of walkthrough solves, especially when I'm trying to practice color neutrality. We'll get into that in a minute. Do a lot of walkthrough solves, but don't, do fast walkthrough solves. Kind of like, I'm just going to do a walkthrough solve to myself and show you how fast I go when I do these. Alright, I'm going to find these two edges here are already solved. That's the red and blue on white. And then I've got orange and green over here. So what I do to walk through a solve to myself, instead of trying to show you guys where I would go super slow, is I would kind of go a little fast. I would try to go at a slow but fast pace and look ahead so I don't have to stop. But not too fast. You don't want to go too fast. This is the point, so you can practice looking ahead. So I'm going to do my cross, and when I'm done, I'm going to hope to have my first F2L pair. And I think I see what it's going to be. So I'm going to do my cross. I'm going to put this orange piece in, and I'm going to place my green piece, and I see my first F2L pair is this red and green pair right here. So I'm going to do that red and green pair, and I found my green-orange pair. I'm going to do that, and then I found the blue-orange here, and then as I solved that, I located the blue and red pair. About that speed is what you want to do. And then, OLL, and then practice your algs fast as you can. Color neutrality is something I've been working on for quite a while. I'm finally getting the hang of it. Depends on the cube, though. It does depend on the cube. Certain cubes, I can do sub-15 color neutral solves. Certain cubes, I can't even break 30 seconds. I don't know why this is, but it just seems to... I can use black cubes, all black cubes. And for some reason, on certain cubes, I'll see the colors better than on other cubes. Even if it's the same stickers, same everything. I know my Hions cube, I see the colors better. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the way the pieces are shaped, if it's the... I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is. Hions cube. And I find that white cubes help me with color neutrality, too. I can't do white cross solves on white cubes for anything, but color neutral I can do great on white cubes. I don't know what it is. And just like this F2, I can't do color neutral on this F2. I don't know why. It has the bright stickers. I don't know why I can't do it. It just seems that certain cubes are better than others. So when you're practicing color neutral solves, try different cubes, see if a certain cube helps you better or not. So when you're practicing color neutral solves, try to experiment using different cubes, see if any of them are better than others. because I really find this to be true. My C3 is probably one of my best color neutral cubes, and I think what it has to do with really is the quality of the stickers. Make sure to keep your stickers brand new as much as possible. I mean, don't if you get a little chip like right here or something, don't go changing your stickers, but try to keep them as new looking as possible, because I find that that also helps with color recognition, even when you're just doing white solves or whatever cross color you use. Don't always use Dion cubes. Now, I know everybody likes Dion cubes because they're fast and they cut corners at super levels, but it can make your turning accuracy lazy. You'll get too used to the Dions, and if you ever go to do a solve with a regular cube, you'll throwing cubes. If you ever go to do a regular cube solve, your time won't be nearly as good as when you use the Dions. So don't always use your Dions. Try practicing with a store-bought. Try practicing with a Type C, a regular cube, F2s, F1s. Just don't always use Dions, because you'll get too used to them. You're better off practicing with a crappy cube. Not crappy, but not incredible. A normal cube, and then use the Dion as your main, when you go to compete or whatever. Practice with it a little bit before the competition or whatever you're doing, and then, blast away with it. But when you're practicing at home, use a regular cube. Use a Type F or a Type C. Store-bought. My store-bought's great. You can make your store-bought. That's not my store-bought. You can make your store-boughts great. Here's my store-bought. Cuts corners right about there. This is a plain old Rubik's brand from a store, And believe it or not, my color recognition is better on this cube than a lot of other cubes. Don't know why. I've got Dion stickers on there, or Alpha stickers, whatever they are. I can see better on it. I don't know what it is. If you're solving and you're doing an average, a timed average, and you find your time starting to slack a little bit, because that happens to me once I start getting tired, or I'm getting a little edgy because I'm hungry or whatever. Take a minute, stop for a minute. Do a couple big cube solves. Do a couple color neutral solves. And then when you go back to your solves, your regular 3x3 solves, your times will improve a little bit. I find this to happen for me quite a bit. I'll go ahead and do a 4x4 average of 12, and then go back to 3x3, and my times are better again. Sometimes you do too much, and you start to just kind of get like aggravated with it, and you just want to rush through it, and you don't focus. You can't focus when you're aggravated, and you may not even know you're aggravated, but you are. You're frustrated, you're aggravated, you're just edgy. Take a break by doing harder things. Color neutral and big cubes work fine for me. And like I said, use a normal cube. Don't use a Dion. And then when you go back to the Dions, your times will improve. You'll be great. You'll be so much better with the Dions after using a garbage cube. Change your stickers often. Do slow walkthrough solves. Do fast walkthrough solves. And then go a few days without timing yourself. Try different cubes, see which ones work better with color recognition, with whatever. All these things, all these different things will help with your times. whether or not they all work for you, for everybody, I won't be able to know. Just try. Everybody should try these things. If you're trying to break a certain time, seriously, these give you more options than slow down and look ahead. I mean, that is a good option. I do find that to be the #1 thing that helps my solves get better, is slowing down and looking ahead. Crazy Bad Cuber, just the other day, I told him slow down because he was doing a solve and he was speeding, speeding through it, and it was not a good solve for him. I told him slow down, look ahead. It's, everybody hates hearing it. I hate hearing it, but it's true. It's true. And he wrote me a message the other day. Man, you're right. I tried slowing down during a time solve, and he got a 12-second solve. It's personal best. So really, slow down and just try to see the pieces as fast as you can without rushing. Don't rush. I do find, though, that if I turn too slow, I'll look ahead slower. So I try to turn with a little bit of speed, and that helps me look faster. I find that to be connected somehow. Also, look ahead at all parts of the solve, not just F2L. When you first inspect the cube, that is looking ahead for the cross. That is looking ahead. I mean, you're not doing anything, but you're looking ahead because you're inspecting for your cross and what you're going to do for your cross. So you're looking ahead for your cross. This is an F2. So when you're doing your inspection, you're looking ahead. That is considered looking ahead as far as I'm concerned. So you're finding your cross pieces, what you're going to do. Okay, easy cross. Alright, I know what I'm going to do for my cross. And now while I do my cross, I don't have to really pay attention to what I'm doing. So I can look ahead for my first F2L pair. So I'm going to do my cross. I'm going pretty slow. This is slower, a little slower than I would go in a normal solve. But this is just for the purpose of showing you guys what to do. So I found my first pair. It's this orange-blue pair. So while I'm doing this orange-blue pair, I'm trying as hard as I can to find the next pieces. And one way you can do this, you can try it, I don't know if it'll work for everyone, is look for the colors first that you need. Because I'm using orange and blue for my first pair, I know that there's only one other set of orange and blue somewhere. I know there's a blue-red, and I know there's an orange-green pair. So I know if I see orange or blue, that is the only other orange or blue there will be, other than yellow. And you can see the yellow pretty easily to avoid, finding yellow pieces. But I know if I see orange or blue, that they're going to go together. So I don't have to worry about if it's the right corner with the right edge or whatever. I know that they're the only other ones out there. So if I see orange, I want to find the other piece in orange as well, not blue. If I see blue, I want to find the other blue piece. It doesn't matter because I know that it's not going to be another blue-orange pair, obviously. So I'm solving the blue-orange pair, and I see blue. I see blue here, and I see this white corner with blue on it down here. So I know they go together automatically. So I'm solving this, and then I'm going to get these two pieces ready to be solved. And I see my other orange right here. So I know that the other orange over here is the edge that goes with that, because I've already solved orange-blue. So while I'm solving this red-blue, I'm going to make sure I pay attention to my orange-green pieces. So I'm solving the red-blue, and I did happen to notice this red-green in the back, the red-green pair in the back. But since I saw this first, I'm going to solve this first. Unless this is a super easy case and you can do it without hurting your other pair. I recommend doing what you see first. So now I'm coming over to do my green-orange. I'm doing my green-orange, and I see where the red and green goes because I didn't really have to pay too much attention. It's good to know do another one. It's good to know when you first see the F2L pair, when you first see both pieces, it's good to know what case you have before you get to it. So that way you don't have to look at what case you have. You already know what case you're going to have. And I'll try to give you an example here. Look ahead at all parts. So here's my green piece, red piece, blue piece, orange piece. This is another fairly easy cross. I can solve green, orange, and now I can solve red, blue, and I know to do a D2. And while I did that D2, I was looking for my first pair. So I see the red, green. I'm going to solve red, green. I'm going to come back here and solve it. So there are ways to solve this pair in the front here without coming and bringing it around. In other words, I can solve this pair, these red-green pieces here, I can solve it in this slot without having to turn the cube or anything like that. I can solve it like this. But if I do that, I'm not getting a look at any other sides of the cube. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate the cube this time just to get a look at some other pieces. And while I solve that, I see right in front of me red and blue pair up. So I know that these are the only other red pieces I'm going to have. There are not going to be another red set of pieces. Because there's the green red and then the blue red. Okay? Now I know the blue red goes over here, and I already see blue orange. So while I'm doing blue red, I'm gonna get ready to solve blue orange, and I automatically know what case it is. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to think about what case it is. I'm ready to go right into that case. I know exactly what I have to do, so I can look for my green orange pair, which is right here. So I'm solving the blue orange pair. I see the green orange pieces right here. So I automatically know how to do that case because I knew what it was. So while I'm doing the last pair, I'm looking to see what kind of OLL I'm going to have. There's no way to tell exactly what OLL you're going to have, but you can tell if it's going to be an L or a line or a dot or whatever you're going to have. And I see it's an L. It wasn't going to be a cross because this edge was not going to be oriented. So I know I have an L OLL, and it's this OLL. And now you try to see your PLL, and I saw headlights and headlights. So I automatically know that all my corners are solved. So I can go straight into the whatever edge case this is, and all I had to do was figure out what edge case it was, and it was a U-perm. And that is what you do. Look ahead at all parts of the solve. Don't just look ahead at F2L and then forget about it for the last layer. Zoom through your last layer, but look ahead at the same time. It is hard to look ahead for PLL, but you can do it. It can be done. It's hard. It's hard. It takes a lot of practice. It takes more than 12 solves. It takes more than 20 solves. Do 100 solves. Do 100 solves on Monday. Take Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday and just do walkthrough solves and slow solves. Practice some color neutral solves, and that'll help you with your white cross if that's all you want to do. Even if you don't want to be color neutral, practice it anyway just to get better. You know, it'll help. It will help. Look ahead at all points of the solve. Switch cubes. Trying to remember. See if any cubes give you better recognition, change your stickers frequently, and just keep looking ahead all the time. That's all. I can't even emphasize it enough. It's important. I know everybody hates hearing it. There's no other magic answer, but at least there are other answers. There are other things you can do to get better times, not just looking ahead. But that is the main thing you need to do. Look ahead. That's all there is to it. Howdy ho, howdy hi ho. Once again, it's Xxoxia here, and today we're going to talk about how I got to be averaging the times that I am, which is around 15 to 16 seconds on average. Sometimes sub 15, sometimes 17. You know, it varies, but at least out of the suicide stage, which is the 20. Hello.